Hey, everybody, it's Michael Langston over there, Aslan Hajivandi, talking recruiting, warchant.com, ultimate Seminoles sports source. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's totally free of charge. Lower, mid, right part of your screen, just hit subscribe. It's totally free. Hit the bell. What else should they hit while they're down there, Michael?
Hit the like button too while you're down there. Might as well. It's free, so hit it. Helps to promote all these great things of all 6 official visitors that we're in this weekend. That we can help promote this kind of feature. So certainly hit the like button for us.
There you go. Michael said it. Let's get to it then, Michael. As you mentioned, half dozen official visitors on campus, a camp going on as well. Let's start with those official visitors. Let's start with the crown prize jewel of the week, maybe this entire class, Charles Lester III, still at a 90.4 on the RPM, the recruiting prediction machine out of Venice High School, recently transferred there from Sarasota Riverview. Michael, he was the guy that was on commit watch. How do you think the visit went? What do you think you took away from it? Where does Florida State stand?
Yeah, there's 90.4%. I think it probably should be higher than that. Personally, I feel really good about my RPM pick for FSU. I felt good going in the visit. I feel better coming out of it. I think it goes back to what I've said all along with Charles. I mean, he's always felt a comfort that's different at FSU. And you sense that again this weekend. I think he knows he's coveted, kind of like Hakeem Williams a year ago, and he knows he's coveted not just from a skill set, but from a locker room guy that you want around in your program. And I think Charles sees that. I think FSU feels that, and I think they sit in a really good spot as he nears the end of his visit part, and then probably a decision to probably pop after that.
The more you talk to this kid, the more you talk to people around him, just how confident are you that he really will be living up to that 5-star billing when he makes it to the next level?
I think he will. I mean, Charles is very. I mean, Charles could. I wouldn't be locked into that, even that corner position, because I think he's a phenomenal receiver. I mean, I think he could end up playing receiver if he wanted to. If it turns out that he plays that, I think for FSU they just want him. Whether he where he's on the field, I don't think they really care. But I think he's a top notch corner, and I think maybe even a better receiver. That's how highly I think of him. But it's an incredible athlete and a credible kid that you get inside your program. There's certain kids that impact your program, and I think Lester would be that guy that really makes other people better, just of who he is and the way he plays. And I feel pretty good about where things sit.
All right, let's go into the trenches here. This might be like my favorite profile photo of the recruiting class right here. We're talking about Gaucher, Mississippi product Bryson Hurst. Large human being, mean, scary looking dude. Yeah, look at that. That's the guy I want protecting my quarterback. A guy I want opening holes for my running backs. Bryson Hurst is currently, I guess, pegged possibly for the JUCO route, Michael.
Right.
Um, Currently in JUCO. This is his recruiting profile from the previous recruiting cycle that he was involved in. 6'5", 338 is what he was listed at the first go around. How'd he look? He was on campus working out during the camps, Michael.
He looks so much better than when I saw him in high school. Not that he looked terrible, but he looks so much better. He's 6'7", 327 from what he was telling me. Body frame was you kind of expect that though. When you go to JUCO, you're going to look better. You're going to be more your body's matured more, and I think his body frame just looked incredible. I was very impressed with him. Did some position stuff workout. Did some stuff with Atkins. Didn't do one-on-ones, which there was really no need to. But I think everything seemed to click. Quick feet, quick hands, all the stuff you're looking for from a very talented offensive lineman. I think that's a guy they're gonna pursue. I think he's a guy that they like a lot, and they don't usually go JUCO offensive lineman. I think this one's a little unique situation because there's a previous relationship with Bryson and Atkins. They know each other from the high school when FSU recruited him. I think certainly he fits the mold of what FSU likes and what they look for. And he told me point blank, like, look, if I had a top 5, they would definitely be in it, and I would definitely be. I'm going to take an official visit there. So sounds like the interest is ramped back up with him, even with him go the JUCO route. But I think certainly FSU likes him. I think he even said like FSU didn't know I was in the portal from when he went to Ole Miss, but he is, and he's the guy that I think you will see them pursue, and certainly he had a really good day just watching him work out. But I was so impressed, just the the body fat that he trimmed down and toned up with his body is really impressive.
All right. Let's keep it on the trenches other side. Prep product out of Texas, Duncanville, and that's not, I don't want to call it a pipeline, but obviously a lot of connections there with Chris Thompson, the staff. Alex January on campus, maybe some high hopes as he arrived on campus. How do you think he felt walking out of Tallahassee after his stint here?
Yeah, it was a few things. Obviously, he hung out a lot with Jerome Powers and Jalen Early. Both of them are former teammates. They went to Duncanville as well. You got that sense. The one red flag for me was like he didn't mention anything about defensive tackles that he hung out with during the weekend. He just mentioned mainly those guys. So it made me feel like, okay, if that's happening, then there probably wasn't a lot of feeling that FSU was going to pull or going to pull this out. And he just didn't give you the warm and fuzzies when you listen to him talk about the visit. There was certain parts that he forgot about what they did and stuff like that, and that leads to me with when I read body language like that. It's like, okay, you're not engaged into the visit the way that probably you hope. So I think he probably ends up at Texas or somewhere else. I don't think it's going to be FSU, but that's kind of the vibe I got coming out of the visit.
All right, we can't win them all.
Yep.
Let's keep it with 2024 products. Three-star defensive back Kevin Levy on campus, Michael, visiting, checking things out. You able to catch up with him and hear his thoughts on his time here in Tallahassee?
Yeah, it was really good. I think everything clicked really. I mean, this is a kid they liked a lot. I've said that in my little nuggets last night on late night nuggets about the visits and stuff like that. I think this is a guy they've really coveted throughout the process. I learned something new about Kevin. I didn't know his cousin is actually Ricky Knight, who also visited officially with FSU. So I kind of learned that. It's kind of new. But Kevin's a guy that I felt like, and I said this in my rap, that I felt like FSU's the leader. I certainly feel strongly about that. I think they are the leader. I think they covet him. He's a take. I think they will likely get him from everything I've heard. So I think it just went really well. And this he's from Cardinal Newman. He's a guy that they just they followed and they've studied and they've gone out there and done a lot of background with him as far as if this is a fit to their program. And I think while he's listed as a 3-star, I don't think they view him that way. I think they think really highly of this kid, and I think he's probably likelihood is he's probably going to be in the class if I had to go off intel right now. So I think he's a guy that they feel fits right in there. Kind of reminds me a lot of how the Kevin Knowles recruitment was coming out of high school. Reminds me of that explosive playmaker, but didn't get a lot of pub. I think Kevin was like a 3-star most of the time, and so this kind of reminds me of that. Just makes plays everywhere, receiver, DB, and FSU's just fallen in love with this guy, and they just want to get him. And so it will be interesting to see if they do get him. What did they do with Ricky Knight from there? So if they push, so we'll see.
According to his huddle page, Michael, he's a 100-meter state champ, ran a 10.6. And the 200, he ran a 21.5, and he's also part of a 4x100 state champion relay team. So sounds like a speedster. That'll hunt.
Athletic, he does a lot of different things. Like I said, you see a lot of these highlights are receiver, and he gets separation. He knows what DBs want to do, and then when he's at DB, he knows what receivers want to do because he's played it. So I think he's just a natural playmaker when you watch his film and break it down. I've broken down him for probably a few months now, and he's a guy that I've heard more and more about from my FSU intel. And I know going into this official visit weekend, they really wanted to nail everything with the relationships, get him around the players. They really were treating him like a guy that just as important as guys like Charles Lesser. They wanted him, and they certainly put in the effort and the work to do it.
All right, so there's updates on all the guys that were here on official visits. There's also individual camps going on, Michael. Any standouts? You don't have to go over all of them, but maybe one or two you want to touch on real quick, and I'll let people know what's over on the website.
Yeah, we have a really good story coming up on 2025 4-star linebacker Elijah Barnes. He did not participate. I get the feeling that FSU is the leader there. Another guy that's a talented guy is 4-star athlete Cameron Sparks. He did work out. He was very impressive. I think FSU's in a very close battle with Tennessee there. And then there was several other ones, several Booker T. Washington players that really jumped out to me. Antonio Branch was very impressive. I thought Ben Hanks, who's the son of Ben Hanks that played at Florida. So I think those are a few of the guys. I'm not going to go over every single one of them because there's a bunch on there you can read. We've already got the observations up. You can kind of break it down and everyone can look at it. But some very good talent. I would say, Aslan, like this is the most impressive individual camp by far of anyone they've had. I think previously they had 60 kids at some of these things, but today was very impressive. They had around 160. Really good. A lot of talent, a lot of depth. And then for those that are wondering, yes, we have one more camp left, the big man camp on the 21st, and that will be the final camp. And that will be a big man camp / 7-on-7 tournament. So I've heard it's going to be a major event. Going to be a lot of teams. I've heard up to 50 teams that are going to be there. So I think it's going to be a big event. But yes, people can read all our stuff, have great stuff from Matt Lassier, from me about the whole day official visitors camp. You can go on the PRB or you can go to the front page of Warchant. Don't forget to hit the like button before you go out, guys. And I think that covers it all.
That's right. And also shout out to Luke Cromanhawk finishing 4th over the Elite 11 camp. His diary. Check that out. It's still evergreen. It's over on warchant.com. Michael, as always, man, thanks for the information.
Anytime.